Introducing the Phantom King. Welcome to Dimensions Creating Characters. A lot of pieces there. But yes, so, I'm sure you've heard about the Phantom Empire or the Black Star Empire or just different, empires with names of that sort. And this is the character behind it all, the evil mastermind, you could certainly say, the Phantom King. Now, he's been around for decades. He's almost, you could say, a cosmic entity, but just not quite that powerful, which is why he has his empire and everything else. And yet, his primary goal is he wants to get as close as he can to being on the level of an actual cosmic being or a cosmic threat. He wants as much power as he possibly can get, even though he'll never actually get to that point because he's just not that powerful. But he wants to be. So, yep, he's spent decades and decades trying to build and rebuild his empire multiple times, and of course, this is one of the earlier times he tried to do this with the current Phantom Empire. And yeah, this is when he's a lot more out and about, and what was it? And of course, he becomes an antagonist later in the series with the Phantom Empire that the Comet Company has to fight, when this character, while seemingly defeated, he comes back and decides to try it again. This time, instead of using General Maddox as his flagship general, he instead now uses Count Void as the main enemy or face of the Phantom Empire. And of course, Count Void is the main antagonist by the time the Comet Company becomes the heroes of the story, in case you haven't been following along there. But yep, so let me put on his capes here real quick. And yeah, with that being said, something else to add about the Phantom King. He's been around for essentially eons and eons, and how do I put it? He's very spiteful, I'll definitely say. Like, he doesn't like the fact that there are beings that are more powerful than him. Like, it's not even like, oh, he wants revenge, or long ago some gods like bullied him or whatever. I was like, no, he is a very greedy person power wise, and he believed he was one of the most powerful characters within this realm for a while, until he found out about the existence of spirits or cosmic entities, and he was like, well, that's not fair. I thought I was most powerful. How do I become more powerful than them? So sort of a literal power complex there. And yeah, sometimes there are characters who, they have this tragic backstory, but other times, especially with big villains like this, sometimes they truly just are some evil people that need to die. And unfortunately, they don't, which is why he keeps coming back. And yeah, so that's sort of the thing there. Now, of course, the Phantom King, he definitely operates from the shadows mostly, so it's not like he's off doing his own dirty work. Most times he'll be in the shadows, he'll be working with other mages and other witches and wizards to try and forward his plans of, not global, but galactic power and control. He'll try and get those goals done in the shadows, while he, of course, has the distractions of General this and Captain that and all the other villains popping up that the heroes have to go fight. Where meanwhile, the real plan being carried out is by the Phantom King trying to do his own galactic destruction or gaining the power that he wants to have. But yeah, so that's his thing there. And funny enough, if you watch this far into the video, I'll definitely drop this piece of knowledge. Funny enough, he's not the main antagonist. So I will also add just a bit of a recap. The actual way that this world was created, at least within the lore, is a bunch of spirits, or these godlike entities who came together who want to create a utopia. How did they do this? They decided to create a bunch of simulations to try and create a perfect being, morally speaking. And once they find this person, they'll turn everyone into that, and they'll live out their days as in a utopia with everyone being perfect. So that's the current plan, right? In order to do this, they have their subject, which is called a guardian, and an obstacle called a void. So the guardian, of course, is Dr. Wyatt Sawyer, who's the main hero of the series, at least in its present state. This is sort of a prequel era. And then, of course, the void of that universe is Count Void himself, who's the main villain of the series, at least at that point in time. So, yep, the Phantom King, he, funny enough, sort of in his backstory, he's been doing his own thing, but eventually once the actual test starts with the Guardian, he himself still isn't the main threat. Count Void is the main threat, who, even though Void's working for him, just funny enough, even though he's gotten all this power and everything, he still isn't the center of attention that he so desperately wants to be. So yeah, that's just a really funny point there. So yeah, let me see, I'm going to finish off this build. This definitely took a bit longer because there were more pieces there, but also more story to tell. The Phantom King, he's been around for a while. He's been trying to do his thing. While he definitely is a simpler villain in terms of just wanting money, power, and greed, at a core level, if you want to dig deeper, he really just hates the idea that he is inferior or just irrelevant in the grand scheme of things, which is why he just longs and lusts for power so much. And, as a bit of a foreshadowing into his demise that may end up being the very thing that gets him killed in the end. But, you know, we'll definitely leave that up to the show and the story to portray. But yep, that is the Phantom King as I place this last piece of dramatic lightning behind him, and I'm going to show him to you guys up close. Oh wait, forgot a piece. There's a little claw thing right here. Almost done. There we are. Now I will show him to you guys up close. And here we have the Phantom King. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, tune in next time to see more characters, and have a great rest of your day.